welcome back to B2B Marketing Forum, the live version, CMO Talks. And again, if you have questions, hashtag CMO Talks. And right now, in this whole world of engagement marketing, right here, the topic today, I'm together with Vincent Hooplot. You're the marketing director of Robeco.
That's correct.
And Todd Wheatland.
It's a challenge for everyone, but go with it. Todd.
Yeah, Todd from Australia. And you are the VP of Marketing and Thought Leadership of Kelly Services.
That's true.
Globally. Nice. So welcome. And right now, I think but this is my personal opinion, so I would love to hear your thoughts on it. A journey to make engagement with the customer really possible. You need content. Now, if you're a small butcher shop in a local area, it might be easy to have your content ready. But what if, let's say, in your world, let's say you are an international, large organization. What are the key challenges? If I'm a CMO and I have content marketing, as I know is a must enabler to make that journey happen, what are the key challenges from an international perspective?
Yeah, I can take the question, you can fill me in as well. The thing is that if you look at content management and getting it on the agenda, that's the first thing that you actually have to deal with. Because what I see is that often companies, they are busy with sales and more sales, which is good, by the way. At the end of the day, they forget to look at the long term. So they forget to look into the company to find out where the gems are that the company can use actually to differentiate
Talk about
itself.
gems, and while you say gems, there's a sizzling sound from the kitchen to create more of the tension. But can you repeat that second part, so the long term?
Yeah, so the thing is, at the end of the day, I strongly believe that you have to build long-term interaction with clients. And clients are not stupid. They are looking for real stuff. They are not looking for a quick banner or a quick tweet. They are looking for real content.
And what makes it difficult to deliver that content across different, not only target audiences, but also different countries and cultures?
There are many things, to be very honest, there are many things that makes it difficult. It begins with geographies, the fact that the people who produce the content, the smart people that we have, they are scattered across the globe. Yeah. So that's one thing, to get them aligned, to give them an idea what the content that we want from them, where it's going to be in the next couple of months, so which clients are going to see what. So that's one of the challenges. The other one is that at the end of the day we have clients across the globe as well. So you have to first you actually get the content from across the globe, and then you have to distribute it to the same regions again, and it has to go through this process. In our case, through the head office. So it makes it quite difficult.
It's a lot of communication.
It's a lot of communication.
Back all the information across.
Absolutely.
And then
absolutely. You have to deal with people. So at the end of the day, people are what makes it tick.
How many countries are you then involved in yourself?
Yeah, I tend to talk about regions, because at the end of the day, so for us it's like Asia and Australia. It is Middle East, the US, Europe. And the Netherlands for us, because we are big in the Netherlands, is a specific area as well. But also LATAM, so it's quite diverse.
How's it working for you?
It's a challenge regardless of how we position this, right? I think there's three key pieces to this puzzle. The way I see it, we have what is the topic? So what are you trying to be known for, and is that something that has a particularly unifying theme or approach globally? For example, a particular trend may be recognized as US-centric. So therefore, there might even be a credibility of proactively communicating that with a US flavor. It may actually bring credibility in a local market that a localized approach may not have.
The ability to quickly respond to local events and the local developments.
Or introduce new concepts, for example. If you're trying to, claim a thought leadership position early on, then bringing trends in from other parts of the world into a region or a country can be very effective. So it's finding that mix, and obviously they're the great topics because they can scale. What you can also do is focus on what are the cultural aspects of that. So there's, the country, the language issues, very difficult to scale intelligently with languages. One of the shortcuts we were discussing earlier that we do is we, rather than take a thought leadership piece and translate it into 30 languages and try to insincerely indicate that someone other than the real author was the author, we will basically get a feedback position from a local lead person in that country, and that person will then reflect on their thoughts and their opinions on this original piece. So we take a...
The best of both worlds.
I'd like to think it works.
Yeah.
And the third piece, something that is true a lot with the type of medium we're using today, webcasting or video casting, that really is a challenge for when you're trying to position things globally. So we certainly timing, when can you release something that's going to be suitable for an Asian audience, a US audience, and a Central European audience. So how can you both take themes and topics that are most relevant, but also position it and frame it in a way that is very accessible and the right time and the right place for that purpose?
So it sounds like that you found a way, or quick wins as a sort of a solution to overcome these challenges.
I'd say we're constantly struggling with the challenge. I think there's some best practices that we found internally that work to enable us to move at scale, but I think we're still a long way from it. I think it will continue.
What makes it so difficult? What is it really? What's the?
Maybe one thing about making it difficult. The funny thing is that you just mentioned quick win program. You said something about quick win. I can tell you one thing about content. It is not quick win. So I don't, there are always small things that you can do, but at the end of the day, to really get this content in a very structured way out there, and to make it relevant, and really have these conversations which are tailored to the different target groups, notwithstanding the fact that you also have to think about languages, cultural differences, and so on and so forth, makes it inherent that it cannot be quick win. Yeah. So it's hard work, and that's one of the funny things. I tend to say that marketeers, they shy away of hard work.
Yeah.
But this is really hard work.
So the new marketeer is one that says, okay, I'm ready to put some hard effort in.
Yeah, it's maybe difficult to say here in Amsterdam, but it's a Rotterdam approach that you need for that. Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you didn't hear that, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so hard work, and what makes it so hard work? What is different today from maybe a few years ago? Is it just because there's Twitter and Facebook and some social channels? Is that the only thing, or is
I think basically I think it's more about more than challenges or channels. I mean, because the thing is that what you have nowadays is a lot of clutter, commoditization, globalization. So everybody is everywhere. So you compete with everybody everywhere. And everybody's trying to outsmart each other. So at the end of the day, that makes it difficult. So it's really difficult to make a relevant message, well-timed, to the right target audience, and really get it out. And not once, but again and again and again. So having these interactions and conversations. And I would argue that, like said before, if you look at social media is making it even more complex. Because at the end of the day, how many conversations can a company have? So it is a
and
very
also get
challenging.
learning from it. Right?
Absolutely.
It's probably also
and achieve it without 140 Facebook profile pages.
Yeah.
So how do you reconcile a local approach with a global presence, yet still deliver value that speaks to a local audience?
Yeah.
So you're also VP of Thought Leadership internally. What kind of evangelization does it require for a CMO internally to get other people on board of the vision that you have? Or is it something that you spoke earlier about, the right message, right place, right, and everybody's trying to outsmart you? Let's say you're a CMO that understands it and says, okay, I'm going to be on this journey. Is it difficult to get people internally on board on that journey?
From my personal experience, absolutely not. I think there's so much scope in working with content and its measurability in an online environment.
Yeah.
Both anecdotal activity and lead type metrics that it really is a very clear, certainly in my experience. It's
raw data that you can prove what
this isn't marketing fuzziness. You can inflate your number of Twitter followers, you can buy Facebook friends, you can do lots of things to make the activity metrics look interesting and appealing and promote yourself or manipulate those numbers. What you can't manipulate is genuine engagement, which results in leads and closes sales. That's the sort of metric flow through that with lead nurturing is very viable and measurable in this environment.
Yeah, agree fully, because we see the same. I would argue that in our company it's a bit more difficult because we are a company who is really knowledge based. So we're an investment management business, which means that you actually at the end of the day the investment managers are the core of the company. And they tend to be extremely focused on delivering performance, which is their core task. Yeah. So that makes it difficult because at the end of the day, if somebody is being incentivized to create performance And everything that takes them away from that core task is being seen as something that's actually an intervention in their core goals that they want to achieve. That makes it difficult for us. So at the end of the day, we really had to make that big step to get the topic on the agenda and to make it relevant for them and to show them how it could add value. So we really had to take this step to make it a relevant topic within the company. So luckily we succeeded, and here we are basically. Yeah.
Nice. Just a little question on the side. If you're a private banker, is it difficult to have the transparent, true engagement in a public arena?
I think I don't know if it's difficult. I would argue that it's not difficult. Because at the end of the day, I think conversations have to be authentic. So you shouldn't think of compliance all the time. Yeah. You should really have authentic communication with each other. And based on that, if you have that as the point of departure, I don't believe that it becomes a restriction. Nice. So I think you can have open conversations.
A final tip. We're gonna close it up. A final tip for if I'm a marketing director globally and I have a small team, I don't have a lot of resources, but I know I have to address right messages to the right audience and multiple channels, etc., etc. What would your main advice be?
My advice would be focus.
It's free, so be careful.
Yeah, my advice would be focus.
Focus.
Because I think it doesn't matter whether you're a small company or a big company, it's always too much to handle. So at the end of the day, you will have to focus, zoom in on the right things that will deliver value. And that's basically what you should go for.
Focus. Thank you.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, so I can,
I would add that I think that... No, let's stick with focus. We'll wrap on that.
Yeah? No. So, in the world of focus, what would your advice be? If I'm a CMO and it's okay, thank you for your tip. I'm going to use focus, and I have this international content creation strategy, and I know I need to focus.
Content works when you understand your audience and you're delivering value to educate and inform that audience. That is very difficult to sustain from a central position if you're trying to globalize that knowledge. You have to find some sort of connection at that local level where you're trying to make meaning for that audience. So the focus point is how do you determine those topics which can be delivered at scale to that audience with meaning, with the least possible amount of effort. That's how we have to try to scale things. If you're producing thousands of pieces of content a year, hundreds a week, or whatever you're doing, then you've really got to be able to move at speed, at volume, and you have to choose those topics where that will resonate the furthest, rather than just speaking to a lowest common denominator in a single country.
Nice. Thank you for all your insights. And if I have time, I'll travel around the world and see if I'm engaged in a different way, in a different situation. But first, I have a lot of money to invest in your.
You're welcome to do so.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.